Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our supersubstantial bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Now, you may have noticed a curiosity in that particular recitation of the Lord's Prayer. Aside from the absence of the doxology at the end, which is a topic for another video, it also says, give us this day our supersubstantial bread, when most recitations of that prayer say, give us this day our daily bread. Now, that particular recitation, give us this day our supersubstantial bread, is not some sort of new innovation. It's actually quite old. In fact, it's found in the Douay Rheims Bible. And for those who don't know, the Douay Rheims Bible is a Catholic translation, and its New Testament was completed in 1582, which is to say decades before the completion of the King James Bible. And if I could show how it reads in Matthew really quick. So here we are in the Gospel of Matthew, and here's the start of chapter 6, and verse 11 reads, give us this day our supersubstantial bread. However, if you compare that to how the Douay Rheims translates the Gospel of Luke, for those who don't know, the Lord's Prayer is found in the 6th chapter of Matthew and the 11th chapter of Luke. In Luke 11:3 in the Douay Rheims Bible, it says, give us this day our daily bread. Now, some of you might find that quite weird. In one place, the Lord's Prayer in the Douay Rheims Bible says, give us this day our supersubstantial bread. And then in another place, it says, give us our daily bread. However, this is not even some sort of 16th century innovation of the Douay Rheims. Rather, it's a reflection of an ancient translation, that being the translation of the Vulgate by St. Jerome, which was the translation of the Bible into Latin. So when you look up Matthew 6 in the Vulgate, so here we are, chapter 6, and we're going to go to verse 11. What you find in verse 11 is panem nostrum supersubstantialem da nobis hodie. However, if you go to the Gospel of Luke, the 11th chapter, the 3rd verse, one finds panem nostrum quotidianum da nobis hodie, and with quotidianum meaning daily. Now, what's going on here is this reflects two possible interpretations of what appears in the Greek text. When you look at the Greek text of the Gospel of Matthew and the Gospel of Luke, it uses the same single word, epiousion, which is the word epiousios in the accusative. Now, that word epiousion, right, is actually a compound of two words, right, or two elements. Epi, which can be translated super in Latin, and ousios, or ousion in the accusative, which can be translated as substantia in Latin. So Jerome took two different approaches when translating this term. In Luke, he translated it in the colloquial way, which is basically to say our daily bread, something along those lines, right? That which is our daily quota, our daily quotient, or something like that. However, in his translation of Matthew, he took a hyper-literal approach and came up with a construction which reflects the elements. It doesn't reflect the colloquial usage of the term, but it reflects the different elements of the term. So epi, he translated super, and ousios, he translated substantia, and he came up with this adjective, supersubstantialem, which is the accusative of supersubstantialis, right? And that's how you get this translation in the Douay Rheims. Give us this day our supersubstantial bread. I think it's something that people who have a great love for the Eucharist or who believe in the real presence. It's a particularly meaningful reading, and it's in a very old English translation of the Bible, and it goes back to a very ancient interpretation of the Bible. I just wanted to share that because I thought some might find it interesting. But on that note, I'll close this video here. Feel free to share your thoughts, and God bless.